really awful this all was.
After flying 58 combat missions over the Pacific, he was shot down in 1944, then rescued at sea. He left the Navy with both the Distinguished Flying Cross and the memory of best friends who didn't return. George and Barbara set off to make their new life in Texas. It became their home. And it was here that he first ran for political office. Public service was always his calling and his life's work. United States Congressman, Ambassador to the United Nations, U.S. Envoy in China, Director of the CIA, Vice President, and then elected as the 41st President of the United States. At his inauguration, he delivered the same message to the country he had learned from his parents.
I've spoken of 1,000 points of light, of all the community organizations that are spread like stars throughout the nation doing good.
Okay, points of light concept is that, helping others, doing something for somebody else. And I believe in it. It's nothing we discovered. I mean, it's been out there for many, many years. Volunteerism.
Like his hair was on fire. He would commit to doing 10 different things and then trying to fit them all in.
And there were two things that would get him to sit still. The war in Vietnam and the JFK assassination.
A dark page in the annals of America has been written to the crack of an assassin's bullet.
I was part of a morning radio show, and for 40 years had tried to get Derek to come on the show. Well, one time we had as a guest a woman named Jean Hill. She's in the Zapruder film, The Woman in the Red Raincoat. She testified that she saw smoke come from the grassy knoll. Called Derek, we got Jean Hill. What? She gonna be in the studio? I'll be there. I said, now come on, don't leave me hanging. She said, I'll be there. Meeting her was like meeting a superstar. And I can remember Jean Hill said, this guy knows his stuff.
Conspiracy theories were his hobby, but his passion was the military.
It was an everlasting theme in his life. His connection to his father, his connection to the military.
In a bombing raid codenamed Linebacker 2, Captain Robert J. Thomas was shot down on December 18th, 1972, and was listed as missing in action until 1980.
I spent the better part of my life trying to find out what kind of man my father actually was.
I want to be the third black Supreme Court judge, and he just kind of giggled about it.
I get a certain joy out of helping the kids in my program and taking them different places.
In addition to joy, Derek got recognition. In 1992, President George Bush named him one of his 1,000 points of light. And in 1993, he won the NFL's Man of the Year award.
All that charitable work he did.
U.S. Envoy in China, Director of the CIA, Vice President, and then elected as the 41st President of the United States. At his inauguration, he delivered the same message to the country he had learned from his parents.
I've spoken of 1,000 points of light, of all the community organizations that are spread like stars throughout the nation doing good.
Okay, points of light concept is that, helping others, doing something for somebody else. And I believe in it. It's nothing we discovered. I mean, it's been out there for many, many years. Volunteerism, helping other people.
He established the first presidential office to promote volunteerism.
There's so many things that take no energy, really, but just thoughtfulness. You can go to schools and tutor a child one day a week. There's just a lot of things you can do. Certainly hospital volunteers are wonderful. I'm fascinated with the school system because I think that's the most important thing that we can do is to educate our children.
There were great changes in the world on his watch. An end to the Cold War with the Soviet Union, in the building of an international coalition to fight the Gulf War. He worked across party lines, trying to ensure continuing opportunities for all Americans.
The Chiefs brought confidence to Buffalo, but not luck.
He dumps it off front to the middle. Oh, the head! And intercepted, picked up by Jones in the end zone. Off the open palms of a wide open Kimball Andrews near the goal line.
That kind of portended what was about to happen. When Montana went out with the concussion, the air just escaped from the balloon.
The Chiefs' biggest offensive star missed almost the entire second half, which gave him something in common with their biggest defensive star.
Derek stood on the sideline most of that second half, unfortunately.
In an effort to stymie the Bills' running game, Kansas City's coaching staff employed an alignment that rarely included Derek Thomas.
The Chiefs are going to keep Derek Thomas on the sideline.
Taking one of your best players and putting him on the bench still doesn't make sense to me today.
The defensive scheme didn't work. They still put a lot of rushing yards on us, and we ended up obviously losing the AFC Championship game.
Buffalo Bills have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 30-13.
That was as huge a blow to Derek to lose that game and then lose it sitting on the bench as he probably had in his career.
Even after that game, we were so talented, particularly on the defensive side. I think we all believed that we would get back there.
I'm sorry I said that. But it's true.
Tell your opinion.